Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you.
It's just what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bullshit sometimes, and,
What is going on? People don't understand, like, you really do not know what happens to some of these celebrities and stuff behind closed doors. Because when they come out, they have these moments like this where they just doing things that are out of the ordinary. Like, you looking like, where's T? Like, what is going on? But
since Taraji P. Henson has always explained that she had to fight for a seat at the table, it is easy to understand why she is becoming so outspoken about Hollywood's attempts to silence the actual problems and those who discuss them in light of the recent revelations regarding the events involving her Empire co-stars Terrence Howard and Bryshere Gray. The way Diddy allegedly used and dumped Bryshere and then attempted to do the same with Terrence has caused a stir on the internet. This whole situation is insane, and it appears like more and more individuals are being spared each day simply because Diddy is in jail. There is a lot to go through, so let us break it down. Give yourself a pat on the back if you did not see Bryshere's Twitter account, where he was tweeting more frequently. You never know what you might have been saving yourself from. You cannot look at Bryshere the same way after seeing his new content. Therefore, it was one instance of curiosity gone wrong. In case you were unaware of what was going on with him, Bryshere made an account on OnlyFans after he was blackballed from the industry and was unable to find any work in Hollywood. This was the beginning of a rabbit hole that you really do not want to go down. He started by posting thirst traps, and then he started playing with himself live on camera. Now, I know people do this all the time, but does not anyone want to see Bryshere do that? This really got people talking because everyone was expecting him to do big things after Empire. Bryshere then took it a step further when he began working with gay and trans content creators, initially just making them feel inferior to him by posting images and videos about it. I need my kisses. I feel like sucking D and balls. It is all for some OnlyFans chump change, and it is a mess. If you would want, you can visit his Twitter page to see what he posts, but nothing will prepare you for what you will find there. Nobody is arguing that, as an adult, Bryshere should not be held responsible for his deeds or anything like. However, the Bryshere of today is very different from the gifted young man who surprised us by becoming the main character in Empire. Will Smith and Diddy are said to have mentored him when he entered the industry at the age of 17. Additionally, Jaguar claims that his shady mother, Andrea, essentially sold him to the Hollywood mob. Charlie Mack, Bryshere manager, wanted to help him with his acting, so he put him in touch with Will Smith. After that, Diddy entered the scene because he also wanted to grow as a rapper. You are aware that those mentorship programs do not yield any positive results. You guys do not recall everything that happened during Puffy Taste Camp after all.
You happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life, and what you had to do with it.
One of the first persons to voice their opinions on this was Jaguar Wright, who had some pretty harsh things to say about Bryshere's mother for setting her son up for failure by selling him to the highest bidder.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them and their mentorship.
The elites had already begun using and passing Bryshere about as a young boy toy by the time the so-called membership was finished. After his contract with Empire ended, he became a walking wreck, and his time in Hollywood was gone. When his wife had to be rescued from him back in 2020, she fled the residence and called for assistance. That is what she said. He had been putting his hands on her for a while until she found a way to escape, and when the police got to his house to arrest him, it took hours to take him to the station. Additionally, his mugshot depicted a completely different Bryshere. Every news report on him has been awful ever since. We stated that he is now a fully grown man who is in control of his life, yet trauma can undoubtedly turn a person person into a shadow of their former selves until they begin acting strangely. This is similar to what happened with Orlando Brown, who likewise acknowledges that the industry exploited him. Terrence Howard has now also spoken out about his personal encounters with Diddy.
He invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I'm playing the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you.
I mean, it is always frigid for a guy, Diddy in particular, to say he wants to get out with you. Or have you all forgotten what 50 Cent said?
He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said something fabulous and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? All right, when something's people say to me, I get a little uncomfortable. Like, I get uncomfortable. Like, he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no. Take me see what a guy says to a girl.
Diddy was not even promising Terrence a contract, a movie deal, or anything like, and the two were not even friends in the first place. Additionally, I am aware that Terrence commented a lot of questionable things, but what he described sounded like Diddy's usual MO, so it wasn't really hard to believe that what he was saying was true. The fact that Terrence is very well known and did not require his assistance to accomplish anything is what actually benefited him. According to his statements, Terrence has already witnessed the extent of the chaos caused by other celebrities who gave into Diddy manipulation. However, he did not escape with nothing. He was not prepared to play that way, thus he had to pass up many opportunities.
No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most, and so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are, and that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream, they don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything.
But what about people who could not say no, like Bryshere, in precarious situations? It is the cost of the bread when it is not the cost of the body. When Taraji had to publicly discuss her underpayment, she encountered a similar circumstance.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
The game operates in this manner. Either you starve or you give in. In the majority of cases, when someone who has been struggling finds a path out, they will seize the chance. Additionally, rumors state that Taraji is pleased that Terrence is at last speaking the truth and that more people are beginning to discuss the injustice Bryshere received. We shouldn't be seeing Bryshere Gray like that. The blacks in Hollywood failed him. I hate whatever happened to Bryshere Grays. Such a talented person. If Terrence Howard's telling the truth, Hollywood isn't just rotten, it's radioactive. If those names were at Diddy's events, the House of Cards is about to collapse. Do you guys believe that Bryshere's development was influenced by his unsupervised time in Hollywood? Make sure to like and subscribe, and leave your opinions in the comments section. I will see you in the upcoming video too.